Now on Denver 7 News, permanent access to abortion services. Hear about the new Colorado law protecting a woman's right to choose.
More schools are starting to experiment with growing their own food indoors. How rolling greenhouse carts are letting people pick out their own leafy greens straight from the source. And the huge ships that deliver so many of our products are threatening endangered whales. The new tracking tool that's trying to protect them, and why some ships are resisting using it.
And as Russian troops withdraw, a shocking discovery in Ukraine that has world leaders calling for war crimes investigations. Thank you for joining us for Denver 7 News at 4. I'm Jacqueline Allen. The right to access abortion services is now protected in Colorado law. Governor Jared Polis signed the Reproductive Health Equity Act into law today. This move comes ahead of a U.S. Supreme Court decision expected this summer that could overturn Roe v. Wade. It also comes at a time when states surrounding Colorado are passing laws to significantly limit access to abortions. At the bill signing today, Governor Polis outlined exactly what this means for our state.
We want to act proactively to protect the rights that women already have under federal precedent and state law. What does that mean? It means that no matter what the Supreme Court does in the future, women in Colorado will be able to choose when and if they have children.
Clinics in Colorado we spoke to today say they're already seeing an increase in patients from out of state, and they expect to see even more in the future. Coming up on Denver 7 News at 5, we'll hear from some of those clinics about what this law means to them. It is a weather action day today as a strong spring storm moves into Colorado. Katie LaSalle joins us now. Katie, we have some high wind warnings already in effect right now.
Yes, Jacqueline, it's a very fast moving, powerful front. It was beautiful outside today with 60s and 70s here over the Denver area. Winds are already starting to increase over the eastern plains. Last recorded wind gust out near Lyman and Akron over 30 miles per hour. Tomorrow, though, this storm will roll in. It'll bring in more mountain snow. Could see several inches of accumulate, around 3 to 6 over higher terrain. A few showers possible here over the Denver area and plains. The winds will be the main weather story for us over the next several days. Those wind gusts could reach 50 to 75 miles per hour through the afternoon tomorrow. So high wind watches and warnings will go into effect. Winter weather advisories for the mountains. More on the exact timing of this system and the nice warm by the end of the week still to come.
All right. Thank you, Katie. Now to the latest in Ukraine. A growing number of world leaders are calling for war crime investigations as Ukraine's president accuses Russia of killing more civilians. President Biden is specifically calling for a war crime trial after the recent discovery of a mass grave in a Kyiv suburb. Ukrainian officials say more than 400 bodies were found, many with their hands bound and shot at close range. ABC's James Longman is on the ground and he was taken to the grave.
Authorities have brought us to what looks like the grave, the hastily dug grave of what they say is the family of the local mayor here. They didn't agree to cooperate with the Russians, they say, so they were executed. I'm looking now, I'm not going to turn the camera around, but I am looking now at the bodies of 4 people partially submerged in the sand. But it's atrocities like these that Ukraine really wants the world to take notice of now.
Wow. And Russia has vowed to scale back operations in and around Kyiv. The White House fears this war is far from over. President Biden says he's considering even more sanctions, though he declined to offer specifics. As people flee Ukraine in search of safety, many are doing whatever they can to get their pets out, too. This is Michelle Burleson. She's at the Ukraine-Romanian border, helping people get their pet passports and vaccines before taking their dogs and cats into the EU. Michelle went to high school with the owner of a new coffee shop down in Castle Rock who wants to help. Heather Casey says staff at Coffee do not collect tips, but they put out a tip jar to collect money for different causes. This month, that money will go towards helping Michelle and her work.
As ugly as everything that Putin is doing, I kind of have a restored faith in humanity and the goodness of people and the generosity of people.
And this coffee shop will also match the donations that are raised. Coming up on Denver 7 News at 6, we will hear much more about Michelle and the work she is doing at the border.
Some of the most vulnerable to severe illness from COVID-19 can get tests for free. Starting today, Medicare is allowing up to 8 free home tests per month for enrolled seniors. They're being made available at most major national and regional chain pharmacies across the country. The government has also mandated private health insurance pay for 8 free tests a month. COVID hospitalizations have hit a pandemic low, but the strain of the last 2 years is still taking a toll on hospitals. Experts say staffing shortages are making things difficult, and a lot of people who postponed care during the early days of the pandemic are now coming in for treatment and surgeries. Hospital leaders also say they used to plan based on seasons, for example, flu. But now they say that way of thinking is gone because they're full all of the time. Nearly 2 million U.S. adults develop sepsis each year, and around 270,000 Americans die from it. A new test in the works is offering hope to identify the condition earlier and potentially save lives. Sepsis is our body's extreme response to an infection. Almost any infection, including COVID-19, can lead to sepsis.
There's 3 things that are important for patient survival: early detection and treatment, early detection and treatment, and early detection of treatment. There's nothing else, actually. That's proven.
Michael Mahan is part of a team working on earlier detection. Currently, sepsis is diagnosed with a symptom-based approach. That may include kidney or liver failure and blood clotting. All of this is after permanent organ damage has already happened. Mahan's team's study on mice found that a big shift in blood proteins soon after infection. They believe their findings will translate to humans and can predict sepsis well before the disease symptoms show up. In mice, they saw a change in their blood days before any symptoms. Mahan says the next steps will be to figure out what combo of blood proteins should be included in the future test.
We want to develop a rapid, easy to perform test and morph this into existing tests, not have, into existing blood tests. This would be a standard thing you would do. And this may even be in your doctor's office. That you don't go because you're on your deathbed. You went because you just don't feel good. Something's not right.
The study found the key to treatment and survival is starting antibiotic treatment well before blood clotting starts. If you or a loved one has an infection that's not getting better or is getting worse, the CDC stresses to get medical care immediately and ask the healthcare professional if your infection could be leading to sepsis. Well, we rely on mega ships to deliver everything from our refrigerators to smartphones, but they're also putting endangered whales in danger.
Cargo ships are up to 1,000 feet. So even when you have the largest animal in the world, they're no match for something that's 10, 20 times their size.
The new tracking tool that's trying to better protect them.
Minutes and even seconds can mean everything during a disaster, so it is crucial to get important information out quickly. Well, now a major Colorado city is looking to make sure its warning system is up to speed. That is coming up next.